All right, this is Unit 7, Video 1, Adding and Subtracting Polynomials. We've already done some review over like terms, but just to remember, like terms are terms that the variable and the exponent are exactly the same. So we have 4x squared, and we have x squared, which is a 1. So that's how we get 5x squared. Okay. So from our last unit, remember, when we're adding, we do nothing with the exponents. Okay. Do not change the exponents when you're adding. All you have to do is add the coefficients. So that would be a 4 plus a 1 gives you 5. Okay, and then the blue ones, we have 3xy. The other thing like that is the 7xy, which gives us 10xy. Notice again, exponents did not change. And then we have this 14x, that nothing is like it. So again, make sure you take the sign that's in front, so you got a minus 14x. Okay, so on this one, we're going to combine like terms. There's really not an addition or subtraction here. So we have this 4x squared. Okay, and we want to know what's like it. Okay, and that's this x squared. Okay, this one is not because it has an x, but it doesn't have the exponent. Okay, so that's not like. Okay, also remember that there's a 1 here. So I have 4x squared plus 1x squared, which gives me 5x squared. And then this one does not combine with anything, so I just bring it down. Okay, all right, next one's addition. Okay, so on this one it's a parentheses, so I'm taking 3x plus 9 plus negative 5x plus 6. So since this is a plus inside, the parentheses actually do not mean anything. So if you wanted to rewrite, you could go 3x plus 9 minus 5x minus 6. Okay, because that parentheses with the plus doesn't mean anything. Okay, so 3x combines with negative 5x. Remember, it's the sign in front of the term. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2x. Okay, and then the next I have 9, a positive 9, and a negative 6. So 9 plus a negative 6, or 9 minus 6, is 3. And there's my answer, negative 2x plus 3. Right? The next one gets a little tricky, so you have to be careful here because there's a negative in between. Okay, so remember that this is a negative 1. So you have to distribute a negative 1. So I have 9x minus 5, and I have negative 1 times 7x, which is negative 7x. And then I have negative 1 times a negative 2, which is a positive 2. A couple things you need to remember on these. When you distribute a negative, it changes the signs. Okay? Both of them, everything in parentheses. Okay, so now I have 9x minus 7x, which is 2x. And then I have a negative 5 plus 2, which is a negative 3. And this is my answer. I can't combine those because they're not like terms. All right, next one. The store owner wants to know how many sandwiches were sold over the past 3 years. The owner modeled the quantity in thousands with the following polynomials. So ham and cheese sandwiches, they had 3x squared plus 7x minus 15. In turkey, they had 7x squared plus 3x minus 17. Write a polynomial that models the total number of sandwiches sold over the past 3 years. Okay, so total means we are going to add. Okay, and it's nice because they're lined up. These are like terms, so I can add them. These are like terms, and then these are like terms. Okay. All right, so 3x squared plus 7x squared is 10x squared. Okay, 7x plus 3x is 10x. Okay, and then we have a negative 15 and a negative 17. They're the same sign, so you're going to add them. Right, which gives you a negative, right? If you have a negative and you add a negative, you get a negative number, which is going to be 32. And you can't combine any of those, and that's your answer.